What did I tell you? I got new RAM.
Yeah, because you got one, and then it was also the one that you got me, so now I'm just looking forward to when my computer explodes.
Well, I was saying he had a similar experience where him and Andy got the same RAM and one of iWi's sticks was dodgy. So
What RAM did you just get?
The Vengeance.
Corsair Vengeance.
Oh yeah, because I mean it sounds cool, but it doesn't work.
I now
That's what I'm
got
hearing.
the one I got today is called G-Skill Ripjaw. And it's fucking red.
Why
and
did
has-
you just get like a generic?
Because it
name
needs to
of
sound
RAM?
cool, Alex.
Does it?
Yes.
Though? Because the last cool one you got broke.
Look, Alex, fuck you. Alright, we're ready to go.
I think Alex fuck you is going to be a common sentence said during this episode of Game Club.
Should we rank these at the end just so we can put Alan Wake at the bottom of this list the entire time?
This list of 2, yeah.
Yeah. Brothers and sisters, welcome to the only ever second episode of the Not So Super Bash Bros Game Club, where we take a game at the start of the month and play it, and now we come together, review it for your listening pleasure. I am joined with a full house again. Hans Davis, how are you?
Bitey.
Alex Proudfoot, what's up?
Hello.
And Ai Chong, how you doing?
There's a big grin on my face whenever he said we would play the game.
Spoilers, man. Spoilers.
Well, actually, to be fair, I grinned on his face whenever he said we come together, and I was just like, yeah!
You people suck. So, this month, it was Alex's turn to pick for July 2016. And Alex, what game did you choose?
I chose the lovable Alan Wake.
Boo! Sorry. That was premature. Don't want to give my opinion on the game too soon.
Yes, Alan Wake, released May 2010, released on PS3 and Xbox 360, and came out 2 years later on the PC, is a third-person psychological thriller. Continuing the trend of third-person games. Here we go.
It's not a trend
Well, I
after
mean,
2.
Yeah, you can't have a trend after.
Look, fuck
2
you, it's
games.
my show, it can be a trend.
Hashtag third person game.
Yep.
Hashtag trend. Hashtag my
join
show.
the third-person club. Alex, why did you pick Alan Wake? I mean that on so many levels.
Well, basically, story's amazing. And mechanics are pretty questionable, but story's amazing. And that's pretty much why.
That's it. 2. We give one reason, and so it's one thing and half a thing.
Oh,
One good thing and then one meh
hey,
thing.
hey, Hans, at least I picked the game last month.
Oh, shots fired! Hashtag.
That's not how hashtags work.
Hashtag. Shut the fuck up. Are you on Twitter?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. Shit.
In fact, Nick, Alex follows us as at NSS Bash Bros on Twitter.
Nice plug.
Do I?
Nice plug.
Yeah, you do.
Alright.
So, before we get to talking about the game itself and our reasons behind it, I want to go quick around and say, okay, Hans, how far did you get in Alan Wake?
2.5 episodes.
Oh, Iwai, how far did you get in Alan Wake?
2 and a bit.
Oh, what a shock! I also got through 2.5 episodes. Alex, how far did you get?
This time around, 2.5.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Come on!
Well, but Alex has a valid reason, though. Sort of.
What is his valid reason?
I'm doing my dissertation.
Oh, okay. I would also take this game is terrible as a valid reason.
Hey, it's not terrible. I have played through it and played it alongside the DLC
So have I!
before.
I have heard actually the DLC is better than the original game because
DLC is really good.
Yeah.
because it takes away all the crappy stuff.
Yep.
Oh, so you're just left with nothing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Oh.
That's what I actually. The first I have notes here, and the third thing is strong opening. So there you go. That's what Alan Wake has going for it.
Like, all you played was the opening. So,
Yeah, that's...
I mean, you know.
Honey, I'm home.
Oh, what do you think about the actual story of it then?
Story-wise, was interesting, you know, and it's an interesting take on how, as a main character, you're just a dude, you know. But then he gets caught up in essentially his own world, which he's created. But I found out now that the enemy, quote unquote, has a really dumb name, aka the Dark Presence.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like obviously I didn't. I obviously I didn't play through all of it. My bad, guys. But
All of our bats.
but no, it seems cool. I think I'd rather hear from you guys, since that you guys I think know actually more than me. Because I'm just
Well,
glancing over this.
I actually do agree with IY on the fact, like, it's more interesting because Alan Wake is just a dude. Like, you know,
And
in
that
all these
sick
other...
jacket.
Yeah, that rider with the fucking
Yeah,
elbow
it's the
patches.
elbow pads make that jacket.
Yeah.
That
And
is a rider's
it's
jacket.
the blazer hoodie combo needs to come back. That is
No,
an
that does
acceptable
not
thing
need
to
to
wear.
come back. Like, in terms of, like, the narrative, though, like, it is better he's, like, a dude. Just a random dude. Because, like, it's something that I always think about, even TV shows, you know, in, like, a crime thriller or whatever, for some reason they always seem to go with the police officer as the main protagonist. Whereas, you know, to me that's not as interesting. It's more interesting for him just to be a regular average Joe. Because, for example, say he has to get into a crime scene. If that character is a police officer, he can just, you know, oh, I need a warrant, there's the warrant, and go in. Whereas, if you're an average dude, he has to therefore break into the crime scene, not get caught, and it's just a lot more interesting. I think the average Joe protagonist, just some guy who's fallen into this new and weird, like, these weird happenings, is just a lot more interesting.
What I've got here is, I think the game does have a very strong opening, and I think it's a cool world. That could just be my fucking deep love for Twin Peaks talking. But I think it's actually a really interesting setting, and the story they begin to set up is pretty awesome. However, one thing I realized in those thirsty episodes is I don't like Alan Wake as a character. I think
He's fucking terrible.
he's a dickhead.
It's
His
not
wife buys him a typewriter, and he throws a strop.
Yeah.
And like goes, no, fuck this, I'm out of this house.
No, I think you'll find Nick. He's like, she won't follow me outside because it's dark and she's scared of the dark. That was awful.
Why?
What a terrible human being.
Why was Alan Wake not the one that was scared of the dark? Would that not make a lot more sense in terms that it would, like, it interacts with the gameplay more? Like, you know, the whole light versus dark thing? Because you don't play as the wife, so it doesn't, and she's not there for most of the fucking game. So it would make a lot more sense if Alan Wake was scared of the dark.
But then how do you kind of build game mechanics around that? Because if your character's going to be fucking terrified the entire time.
But no, that's it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's grabbing for the torch all the time and stuff, and he has the gun and stuff. You know, I just think it adds to the character more. Also, have you noticed, right, that the voice acting in the game was actually all pretty okay, apart from Alan fucking Wake?
I think his,
I
like,
didn't mind the voice acting.
the narration parts, I think, with him are pretty good. I think the
Yeah.
character voice
The actual
acting is
just
bad.
the acting is
It's
terrible.
it's very stilted, I think. I think the narration parts are very good. And like there's a knock on effect of Alan Wake, and I think kinda his wife is also being terrible characters, is that you do not care about what is happening to them. So that first two episodes, because the first two episodes don't really progress the bigger mystery of what the fuck is actually happening here. It's kinda just all about Alan trying to find his wife. It makes those fucking first two episodes so boring, because you do not care about that story.
Well, I don't know. I disagree with that. I think it does what BioShock. It doesn't do it as well as BioShock, but it doesn't sacrifice the narrative for gameplay. Like, it lets you go through the town, it lets you build up this world and see the town and meet the characters and get this feeling that maybe there's something a little bit ominous going on. I definitely don't think it's. I just think it's definitely been done better in other games, but I do like that they don't sacrifice the narrative. Which is the only strong point about the game is the narrative.
Yeah.
I think the idea of actually not revealing things so early is actually a really good point to the game, I would say. Because, like, it did make me, sort of like say to Alex or whatever the next day, what the fuck is going on? Like, should I know what's going on right now? Because I really don't. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in a game like this, where, as Hans points out, it is about this ominous thing behind you that you're constantly aware of but don't quite understand. And then I assume it gets revealed later, and I think that's actually quite good in terms of storytelling.
See, I would actually kind of think the opposite. Like, yeah, it's nice that there is this bigger mystery, but I don't think that hook is strong enough to push through the mediocre gameplay. Like, one of my points here, I've played bad games and I've played non-games on the promise of good stories. Like, the game I want to compare this to, Deadly Premonition.
Oh,
that is a terrible playing game, but the story is so fucking interesting. You can push through that terrible gameplay.
It's not an upside down peace sign. It's a tree.
It's a fucking chicken's foot. So yeah, like that's I feel like that's the difference between like Alan Wake has this interesting promise, but it's not interesting enough to make it worth pushing through shitty gunplay.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to talk about that fucking gameplay in a minute. Don't you worry about that.
So I brought it up briefly there. We'll talk about it more now. The gameplay. Holy shit. That is... I hesitate to even call it a third-person shooter.
It's a third-person shooter.
The shooting is so bad.
It is a third-person shooter in the most literal description of it.
Yeah. The whole shooting mechanic wasn't the best.
Actually, no. Right. Let's
shotgun test. Shotgun test.
No. I'm gonna say right that I don't think the shooting, for me personally, was the problem. Right. I don't actually think it was that. It was actually the variety.
Yep, I agree.
That was the issue, because I actually think the idea of shine light at an enemy, then shoot. I still think that's absolutely fine. It's not the most interesting thing in the world, but like it makes sense. Thematically, and I think it's really cool. Got to get your Duracell batteries in there. I think it is, isn't it? Is it Duracell?
Yeah, it's Duracell.
Is it Duracell?
Yeah,
gotta get those.
Not we are not sponsored by Duracell. just to be clear.
But Alan Wake is though, right?
Fuck yeah, it was.
Right, shine at the enemy and then start shooting them. It's just that maybe two and a bit chapters in, there isn't as many enemies, but like all that seemed to change was how does this enemy hit me? Does he throw something at me, or does he come at me with a chainsaw? Either way, I shine a light at him, and then I shoot him in the face.
Or is it a floating barrel, or is it a floating tire?
But I think like that really boring like gameplay loop just made the shooting feel so much worse, because you were doing the exact same thing every single battle, and like you couldn't do anything else because the game. Yeah, there's these other weapons, but you never got enough ammo to make them viable substitutions for the pistol.
I actually didn't realize until I'd say about halfway through the second episode that whenever you pick up a weapon, it automatically changed it to it, because I'm sorry, to me, the weapons had a good feel, like there was a good heft to them when you shot them, but they all felt the same to me. Like the revolver shot had just as much oomph behind it as the shotgun, and that just had much oomph behind the rifle. Like. But except for, your flares and your flashbangs and stuff, but all the guns I thought they just felt the same. But they were, like, it's a mixed bag, they felt great, but they felt the same.
I also think that another aspect of the combat is that dodge. I think it's okay.
Please, Nick. Cinematic dodge.
No, sorry, the cinematic dodge when you time it right. However, it's, maybe it's just because you're trying to focus where your light is, but I felt like I was getting hit out of angles I just couldn't see. Not that I wasn't looking at, that I just couldn't see all the time. And like, the one thing that would have made it so much better is an indicator for projectiles even. Because there's so many times where a guy is standing in a bush that you literally cannot see if you were standing there.
He's hiding,
Nick. With a projectile.
He's hiding. He's in the dark, like...
But there's a difference between, hiding and a well fucking designed combat encounter. So in the 2.5 episodes, there was one thing I realised was worse than the combat. And that's when they take the combat away from you. So in the first 2.5 missions, there is 2 encounters of them saying you don't get a gun. So the first one is when you're escorting, you're on an escort mission with the kidnapper, and you're basically tasked with getting the darkness off the enemies by shining your light on them, and then he'll take the shot. That bit is terrible because the AI is terrible. There was 3 enemies left, and they were all had no shadows on them, and it took about 20 minutes of me just continually dodging before he'd killed them all.
He was not good with that gun. He was really not good.
He was very slow.
But like I literally just had to sit and dodge for about 20 minutes waiting for him to kill all the enemies. It was ridiculous. And then the bit where I stopped playing was the bit in the 3rd chapter with the flashbangs. So I thought it was a pretty cool concept because it's a good way to bring flashbangs into a game where flashbangs probably shouldn't be useful with the whole explosion. But they don't give you a lot of them for how many enemies there is. Because I thought I'd use, like, every flashbang I was getting at least 2 or 3 enemies killed with them. And I was still left out of flashbangs and running away from 2 shadows for about 20 minutes. And that's where I said, no, fuck this game. This is ridiculous.
That kind of highlights one of the problems with the game, is that it can't seem to decide on the right amount of enemies. Like, because it says it's like a survival horror game, right? But I'm sorry, how many axe-wielding murderers do you mow down in those 2.5 levels, you know? Like, a psychological thriller or a survival horror, if you're faced with an axe-wielding enemy, I should be thinking, oh fuck, I'm going to die. But instead at that point, you're like, oh fuck, it's just another one of these guys. A horror game should not be like that. At no point in a horror game when you see an enemy should you feel fed up. You should feel horror. So there's too many enemies. Like for what it is, there's just too many enemies. If it wanted that many enemies, it should have made the gunplay more fast paced. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think it's a case of you can tell these people aren't used to. They were trying to balance this thriller aspect with the shooter aspect. When I think it's the very first time you ever fight one of the bigger dudes who takes like 6 shots to go down rather than 3.
Oh yeah, oh fuck.
But the first time they introduce one of them, you think, alright, standard game would usually, alright, here's a big guy by himself, learn how to deal with it, then slowly ramp up towards, here's a big guy, maybe here's 2 big guys, here's a big guy flanked with a load of guys. The first time you see one of those big guys in Alan Wake, he's flanked by about 4 of the smaller guys. That's not how combat encounters should be designed.
Yeah,
in any game, no matter how minuscule the combat is in your game,
there should be a learning curve.
That is per design.
Wake, listen to me. This is a mistake. Don't you see? Together we can create something absolutely wonderful.
Can I bring up like a positive thing in my opinion about the game? Right?
No, we're hating this.
Here to shit on this game. Come on.
I don't want to like be too harsh on it because it is known for being a good game in people's eyes, right? And it's just not for us, okay? But I do want to talk about a couple of positive things.
Yep.
I felt, and that was, I didn't like because we haven't touched on like graphics yet. But I actually, to be honest, it might be an issue because the game is dark, right? So you don't get to see as much.
Yeah,
too dark.
But I felt, right. I'll buy you a nightlight hands, right? Stop complaining, right? But I feel like it did lighting actually well. To be honest, I felt like lighting. And I think that's really important for a game like this, which obviously revolves around it.
Like, all revolves around light and dark.
Could you actually imagine if this game had crap lighting? Like, it would completely destroy it. More so than it already is.
But like, whenever I saw the characters and stuff, as long as it didn't talk, right? I thought they looked
as long as they weren't moving.
I had no issue with it, and moving through the woods and stuff. Although it is the woods over and over for the first part of the game. I thought it looked nice, and I didn't mind enemies coming out from the sides, I didn't mind any of that.
Because it kind of makes sense in the woods where you probably can't see
like, I thought
at current distance.
Because, even if the enemies did just, spawn in, gameplay-wise, like, I think
it makes sense for them just to spawn in, rather than, say, like a monster closet in a game where you turn a corner and it's literally just a small empty room where monsters have been coming out of.
Yeah, so I think, like, the game, looked fine. As a positive. That's the only positive I'm going to make, right?
I'm about to blow your point out the water here, okay?
Alright.
Oh, God.
Alright.
So, you said this game looked decent. I thought the lip syncing was bad, the character models the environment was great, but I thought everything else looked terrible. So, this game was released in 2010. Yep. Here's a list of games it was released in the same year as that looked phenomenally more better than this game.
I can guess one of these, I think.
Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Uncharted 1 this year, Uncharted 2 this year as well?
No.
Red
Dead Redemption. Just Cause 2. That's an open world game that had better graphics than this. Fable 3, Dragon Age Origins, and I could probably go on for a couple.
Dragon Age Origins doesn't look great for 20.
No, Dragon Age Origins does not hold up.
You're right.
Well.
Like games like Red Dead Redemption is a perfect example. A massive open world game that looks better than this.
Mass Effect 2. It's not even. It's not an open world game, but that game looked phenomenal for 2010. I would say, and it looked a lot better. It was a huge step up from the first Mass Effect, actually. But for the time that this came out, it should have looked better than it did.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Uncharted 2 was 2009. And that is still one of the best looking games on PlayStation 3.
There you go. 2009. Uncharted, yeah, wow.
No, guys.
Objection!
Right. No, Nick, that comes later. Right. Sorry, let me hit the table. Right. Alright, I think, right, because obviously I have to have a chance to be able to talk back to Hans, right?
Oh, bring it, bitch.
Right,
cross-examination, I believe this is called Phoenix, right?
You need to put on some of that music on in the background. Oh, that's
I will. Future Hans will do that for you.
I actually think you make a valid point, Hans. Right? You know, I think you make a valid point. Right.
I appreciate your candor in this matter.
But what I'm trying to get at though about the game graphically is that it was sufficient. It was fine. It may not have been super amazing, but like it did set the atmosphere absolutely fine for me. Like I did not think, damn, if only that foliage looked a bit better. You know, that would have really made me, you know, shit my pants, right? I think it's fine. I think you're being a bit too harsh on that. I think you're right in terms of comparing it to other games, but I don't think that's necessarily the correct move to make. Because I think it did what it set out to do.
So did Hitler.
Oh, Jesus, Hans, come on.
No, he didn't, because he failed.
You know, he got Poland. That was his first move.
And that's going to be cut out of this.
Yeah.
No, it won't. This is an argument, IY. This is what Game Club was about. To bring us four together and fight.
It wasn't about Hitler.
Oh, wait, was it? No. Okay.
Objection! See? That's whenever we jump in.
Yeah, Future Hans put objection on the screen.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him.
Judas Priest!
The reason I picked this game was because it was one of the bigger games released. One of the first big, Fandango being pushed games that promoted its story above everything else. And I was wondering, can you actually, give it to someone who doesn't really have a great opinion of it? And can they sit and go through that story today? And obviously, no.
No.
No, you can't.
No.
Which, if they had done it, if they had done the combat better, if they had done the pacing better, maybe the story would go from being a fantastic story to being a phenomenal story. But
yeah, because this actually, funnily enough, when I was looking at doing my research for my argument against IY, there was actually a list of the top 10 highest rated games of the year, and Alan Wake wasn't even in the top 10. It was, I don't even know what number it was, but it just wasn't top 10. And I think, from what I know about the DLC, is that they actually really cut back on the combat, the number of the encounters, the number of enemies, and actually focused it on a lot more on the story. And apparently, a lot of people preferred that. So it actually would have been really cool to see if they had stripped back the needless encounters and stuff. I imagine this actually game would have got rated a lot higher.
I might play American Nightmare.
Have you not played it yet?
No.
American Nightmare is really good.
Because it is that kind of...
Alex, you said this was really good.
Because it is that more... It's a, It is like a smaller, more condensed Alan Wake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I might actually go play American Nightmare.
Is that what your next?
That is the biggest praise I will give Alan Wake. I might play American Nightmare.
At least we know what next game club game will be. Alan Wake American Nightmare.
I have no idea what I'm going to do for the next fucking game.
Well, here,
Well,
let's put that as a positive. That as a developer, they made changes.
Yes, in American Nightmare
They realized what they did.
But American Nightmare was always going to be like the smaller downloadable game. So I think they made those changes because it was like 2012 and people didn't have mass amounts of internets at that point yet to download 60 gigabyte games.
On the negative side, after playing this game, it has made me hesitant to go play Quantum Break. I got that free. I got code free for it for the Xbox One, and I'm not actually sure I kind of want to play it anymore, especially since it's like a 40-50 gigabyte download. But I'm really hesitant about even touching it now.
You know what's funny? 40-50 gigabyte download, and that isn't even including all those live action episodes that are in it. Those are all streamed in. You have the option to download those.
No,
which I think is another like 80 gigs.
No, 100 plus gigs. No,
Christ.
definitely not. I don't want to touch that shit.
So I think we're wrapping it up here, yeah. Personally, not worth playing in today's. Like, there are games that set out to do what Alan Wake is trying to do better that have been released since, trying to do that more story focused. There's still some combat or action elements to the game, but that more story focused idea. There are games that have done it better since. And I would say I would put games like The Last of Us in that camp, where the combat's not the main focus, but it's still there's still combat to it. So anyone listening to this, I would not play Alan Wake. I think there are good points to it. I just don't think there's enough good points to it to go back to play it.
I would say try it. Give it a go. Because if you can get into the story is actually amazing. If you can look past the combat and put up with it, go for the story.
Do you want to go next, Sans?
Yes, I shall. Thank you, IY, again for your candor in this matter.
That's dishing out compliments for other people because he can't compliment the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much all my niceness is going to everyone else because it's not going to this game. Like, this game has got really nice trimmings, like everything on the outskirt, the narrative. Technically,
I love how you struggled for a next part to that. All these good parts, like the narrative and
like the environments, and even I love the wee TV show recaps. Though I do feel like if you're playing more than one episode at a time, the TV show recaps do seem a little bit silly because it's recapping something you've literally just done. But I think it's a really nice part. But that core gameplay is just so. It's not even bad. It's just so
uninspired.
Boring. It's boring. It bores you to death.
Uninspired, I think, is a good way to describe that.
And before I actually did the research on Alan Wake, before we did this, I actually thought Alan Wake was one of the first releases for the 360 in its life, but it's not. And when I researched it and saw the other games that came out the same year, it really opened my eyes to how bad this game was in terms of them. So yeah, no, I can't recommend this game. If you're a fan of horror, you'll be disappointed. If you're a fan of third-person shooting, you'll be disappointed. Even if you're a fan of good storytelling, the gameplay is too much to get through to finish the story. And I love good narrative in video games. It's one of the first things I look out for. So no, I do not recommend this game.
Why?
No, as a guy, I didn't finish it, right? Obviously. Yeah, I did not enjoy playing the game, but I would still recommend it, right? Because it is different in the sense that because to be honest, this is kind of game where because of the narrative, I don't really play any of those kind of things. The most I ever play was Walking Dead, Telltale games and stuff like that. So I actually think this is actually a good game for people to play. But what I would say
Imagine if Alan Wake was one of those games.
Right? No, but what I would say,
Sorry.
right, is play it on easy instead. Because it's an old game now. Like you'll probably pick it up quite cheap. Like just play it on easy. If what we've been saying has put you off, like play it on easy and just experience the story, which is of course why Alex chose this game. I would hope. Mostly. Or so he says.
So
It was either that or Mirror's Edge, and
you know what? I kind of wish we played Mirror's Edge now.
Oh,
If only.
Fuck you, that's a lie.
If only, because I would have saved like £2, right? Hope you know, Nick. Whenever I pick a game, it's gonna be Mirror's Edge.
Oh, it's. I know.
oh yeah, looking forward to it.
But
anyway.
speaking of what we're
Yeah,
playing
so
next,
all in all, very mixed opinions here on Alan Wake. Seems kind of split 2 and 2 between Hans and I and Alex and IY.
We need a fifth Bash Bro.
Yeah, this is the problem with having an even number of Bash Bros. So, but if you want to go play it, apparently you might go play it. I disagree, but what do I know?
I feel
just
like
play
it's
video
one of those
games.
games. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Yeah, it's a very it's a polarizing game.
Let me put it this way. The A team of the Bash Bros said no, and the B team of the Bash Bros said yes. So people can decide from that.
be for better, guys. Be for better.
That brings us to our final part of Game Club. August is coming. August is coming. A big month for Bash Bros because we have 2 birthdays. And
Some would
your
call
birthday's in a
it
couple of days, Alex, isn't
yeah.
it?
What?
Birthday's in a couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah, mine's at the end of the month here.
Yeah. So 2. We'll say 3 because we're recording this at the end of July. 3 birthdays.
Well, 3 birthdays after this. My birthday isn't in August.
Well, to be fair, we will probably record before my next birthday anyway. But yes, August is Hans's month. So Hans, what have you chosen for us to play for August Game Club?
Right, so, guys, I don't know if you know this, but a movie came out this month. A movie that was, had a rather hostile, initial reaction to it. I am, of course, talking about the one and only Ghostbusters. So I think we should, in honor of that crappy movie, that's not actually anything like the real Ghostbusters, play what should have been the third Ghostbusters film, the 2009 Ghostbusters video game. Because I know I'm a fan, I know Nick's a fan. Alex, did you ever see the original films?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Are you a fan?
Yeah.
IY, did you ever watch the original films?
I did, yes.
Are you a fan?
Yes.
I want to see what you think.
Who isn't a fan of Ghostbusters?
Everyone who enjoys the new movie.
Oh,
So yeah, I think in honor of what should have been the real third film, or we should play the Ghostbusters game through.
can we wrap this up? Because I currently got a text saying my friend saying he just bought a Vive and he lives around the corner from me, so I'm going to go play with a Vive for the rest of the night.
Alright, okay.
So fuck yeah, that's awesome. We're going to come a-calling at the end of August.
Here.
Through some hot audio in your ears.
Do you want me to edit that so that was the first
No,
thing you said?
fucking keep it. One take, Nick. That's what I'm called.
No, it's not. I've been with you when you tried to do an opening for On the Fence, and it's not pretty.
Yeah,
Nick.
it was pretty horrendous. So yes, we are here. We have finished July, going into August with Ghostbusters, the video game. So it's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Hans.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
It's a goodbye from Alex.
Bye.
And it's a goodbye from IY.
See ya.
See you in August.